Hi, I'm Steve Ninnes from Maintenance Experts. Today I would like to talk about inspections. Previously, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to just have a bit of a talk about it, then I'm just going to stick one of these inspections inside MEX itself. Firstly, in a previous talk that I've given, we talked about the maintenance pie being this. And basically we said, hey, all maintenance can be broken into, there's three main areas. And we'll just say it's, there's the PM side of things, there's breakdown, or, corrective maintenance, whatever you want to call it. And the last category is modification. Now, I had quite a bit of a talk about what was the best form of maintenance that you could actually do within your company. And what we came down to is, we said, hey, PM was the best part. That's what we should be doing. And then we delved into that and we broke PM into three categories. It was inspection, service and lube, and repair, replace. Now, just as a recap, okay, inspections is going out and observing what's going on with your equipment, with your plant, with your vehicles, with whatever. Having a look and seeing what sort of condition it's in. Service and lube, it's the basics, oils, fuels, lubricants, that sort of stuff, filters that need to be replaced. And the last one, this one here is repair and replace, which is a time-based form of maintenance, which just says, every 2 years we do this, every 3 months we do this. And we spoke about how to make it really efficient. How can you get the minimum loss, or how can you minimize the loss within your operation? And what we came down to is its inspection. So let's get practical about that. What is inspection? I mean, if I was to have some sort of operation, and it's not very difficult to imagine it, it's basically I have lots of equipment in here, that needs to be inspected on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Or it could be some, big unit over here, where basically we've got trucks, loaders, drag lines, dozers, you name it. Some sort of mobile equipment, or it could even be a car. What an inspection is basically saying, okay, pick a frequency. It might be daily, might be weekly, might be every 3 days, might be a month. Where I'm actually going to go into an operation, into an area, and check each bit of gear. We'll go to this piece of equipment first, then here, and so on, to make our process of inspection, efficient. And at each item, we're going to have a number of things we might have to do. For example, if we just take an electric motor, what could I do on a regular basis? What could I do as part of the inspection on that? And if it's out in the elements, or if it's stuck in a back corner somewhere. Firstly is, what we spoke about here with inspections was also the best part was doing the simple stuff. So, electric motor, what can we do? Things such as, make sure it's clean. So therefore it can actually, it's ventilated, therefore it can cool itself. Stick your hand on either end to see if it's running hot. Stick your hand in the middle. What else could you do with a motor? It's possible, well, we could get more technical, but I'm going to keep it nice and simple here. Now, when we do an inspection, there's three main things that you can do. And that, like when we do any of these, and I'll break it down into, firstly, there's tasks, and then there's checks, and then there's readings. Again, I've broken this whole thing down. Now, what is a task? It's basically just doing something. Make sure you clean down the motor. Brush it over the top to make sure there's all the dirt off it. A check might be, hey, is this running? Is this noisy? What sort of noise is being generated by the motor? And a reading that's going, it might be like, okay, what's the temperature reading of that end bearing? What's the vibration level? What's, some sort of reading? And what we want to be able to do is be able to encapsulate those inside that inspection. So you imagine then, as we go to each piece of equipment, there's a variety of these three items to be done. Now, that's it. pretty straightforward. Now what I'd like to do is actually just go across and hop into MEX, and I'll show you how we can actually set up an inspection for this plant. I'm actually going to do just a quick look at this, and we're just going to look at this electric motor. So let's jump into it. Where I'll start is actually on the main menu of MEX. I'll go into the preventative maintenance part of the system, and what I'm actually going to be doing is, the first thing is I'm just going to say I'm going to add in a new inspection. So I press that button. And the description of it will be a weekly plant walk around inspection. The frequency is once a week, and I don't think I'll stick anything else in there. I'm happy with it. Yep, I'm happy with that. So I go across to the inspection assets. And from the inspection assets, now this is where, what I'm going to say here is what are the items of equipment that we're going to be inspecting in this routine. Now, I'll just press the new button and then select the asset. Now, as I said, in this case, I'm just keeping it simple. I'm going to go to production, factory 2, and under, I think it's production 2, there's an electric motor underneath that conveyor. And I'll select that as being the first item in the inspection. Now, what I can actually do on this screen as well is put my assets in order, or the equipment in order, as to how I want it inspected. Then I just select the question set. Now, it's the first time I've done this. A question set does not exist for this electric motor. So I've clicked on the ellipsis button, and I'm going to add in a new question set called elect motor weekly. And that's going to be, and the description is weekly electric motor inspection. And I could put an asset type there as well, but I won't worry about that. Now, I'm going to add in a new question. The first question is, it will be clean down the top of motor. Question type, in this case, it's a task. So we say it's a task. And do I want to record it? No, I won't worry about that. And I've got to give it an answer, so therefore the person can say whether it's done or not. So I'd say answer is yes, or the answer is no. Now we'll add in another new question, which will be rest hand on motor and observe temperature. The question type we have here is, it's a check. And I will now add in some answers for that, and I'll say it's okay, and the message, and there's no message required. I'll add in another new answer, which will be seems normal. We'll say it's actually a bit above 10. And there'll be no message or action from that. And I'll add in one more answer, which will be very hot, cannot touch. Okay, and the message will be shut down the motor immediately. And now what we could also do is select an action. Now the action is, this will actually create another work order to say, okay, this thing's really running hot. What we need to do is raise a work order immediately for this unit to be replaced, repaired, whatever it may be. Now it's as simple as that. So we've added in 2 questions so far. I'll just add in one more, and that will be take vibration level measurement left hand end. Oh, sorry, that's just stupid. Let's say drive end, much more intelligent. And I'm going to say this is a reading. Now I will record this. So therefore, what this will do is it's going to add readings in for this reading each time it's done, and therefore we've got a check of it in MEX. Now I need to actually choose vibration level, and I don't actually have one there. So I'm just going to say we'll just choose voltage. That will do for now. But what we should be saying is, it should be, vibration level drive end or something like that. And now I'll just add the answers required is, basically we'll say if it's less than 100 micrometers, then basically we would like that to say, vibration high and needs to be looked at. And the action, again, we can select a work order to say, hey, I'll just choose a random one there, but basically saying this work order needs to be created to have this further looked into. And I'll put one more answer in there, and I'll say if it's greater than 100, do nothing. So therefore I don't have to put any sort of answer in. Now, I've got those operators the wrong way around. It should be greater than and less than, the opposite way. And that's it. We've now done a simple question setup for an electric motor. Now, I know this seems like it's taken time, but the thing is, I've now done a weekly check for electric motors that can be used across all motors. Now, I will actually talk more about this in another edition of this to actually show you how you can say, if you've got fire extinguishers to check, you can have one question set, one asset type rather than asset number to cover the inspection of all fire extinguishers. Now, that's the first asset we've added in, and now I could actually I've gone back to the inspection itself and I added another new item in. And I just press the new button and I could select another asset from that area and slowly build up my inspection to so therefore it's available for use. Now once I won't go through that whole process now. Now once that's done, what I can do is I can close that inspection off, and the activator inside MEX itself will now turn that into a work order whenever it's required to be done. Thanks a lot. I hope that was good and it gave you a bit of an idea as to how inspections can work in MEX. Thanks. That was just a quick look at how to put an inspection inside MEX. Additional to that, the activator, when it runs inside MEX, will create work orders from those inspections, which then you can just hand out to people to be done. Not only that, we also have it so that it can actually be used on the iPad, the iPhone, and even on the Windows Surface. We have an inspection system which is running on these. So if you have guys that are mobile, then literally you are doing paperless inspections. The values that are being recorded will immediately be going straight into MEX as long as it's online. And so you've got the whole world of inspections covered. Thanks a lot and see you next time.